महर्षिः कपिलाचार्यः कृतघ्नो मेदिनीपतिः त्रिदशाध्यक्षः महाशृङ्गः कृतान्तकृत्। महर्षिः कपिलाचार्यः कृतघ्नः मेदिनीपतिः त्रिदशाध्यक्षः महाशृङ्गः कृतान्तकृत्। Maharshihi Kapilacharya. This is one single name. Kapilacharya, the great sage. Mahavishnu is considered to be, Kapilacharya is considered to be one of the manifestations of Mahavishnu. Traditionally, the avatars of Mahavishnu are considered to be 10. But there is also a belief that the avatars of Mahavishnu are not 10 but a large number, maybe at least 22. 22 are listed as his manifestations. So, which includes Maharshi Kapila. So, Mahavishnu, who has manifested as a great Kapila, the great teacher, the great sage, he's a Rishi. He's one who has mastered a portion of the Veda, one who has mastered all the Vedas, one who has mastered a, one Veda or a portion of Veda, he is called a Rishi. But one who has mastered all the Vedas is called Maharshi. So Kapilacharya is such a Maharshi. Kapila is the great master of the entire Vedic literature. He propounded what is called a Sankhya philosophy. The glory of Kapilacharya is endorsed by Lord Krishna himself. In Bhagavad Gita, he declares of the perfected ones and sage Kapila. Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. This is verse 26, chapter 10, Vibhuti Yoga, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It says, Ashvattha Sarva Vrukshanam Devarsheenam Cha Naradaha Gandharvanam Chittarathaha Siddhanam Kapilo Munihi. Among the trees, I am Ashwatha. Among the celestials, I am Narada. Among the Gandharvas, I am Chitraratha. Among the Siddhas, I am Muni Kapila. Mahavishnu is shining as both the universe and also its soul, its essence, called Kritagnaha. Kritagnaha has actually, traditionally, we mean one who is grateful. But the real meaning of Kritagnaha means Krita, Gna. Krita means what has been done. Gna means one who knows. That means if somebody has done some help to me, if I remember that particular help, I am grateful for that help, I am conscious of that help rendered by somebody to me, I am called Kritagnaha. So, in a way, gratefulness is correct. But literal meaning is Krita means the universe. In this case, Krita is a universe that has been created. That is a real Kriya. The work which has been done by Supreme is the universe has been created. Gna means is a knower of all the objects in the universe. Gna. So Mahavishnu is Krita Gna. The Supreme Self, he knows all objects because he is in those objects. He is a material cause and he is also present in them as the consciousness, as the essence. So the knower or ego, what we call, and the effects that constitute the world of things and beings is called Kritam. Now the Lord Mahavishnu is the substratum of both the cause and the effect. He is the supreme self. He himself is unconditioned by any outside matter, such as the body, mind, intellect. But he is the one who elements all these things. He is absolute reality. Now, there is a general saying, I have known what has been done to help me. Somebody says, I have known what has been done to help me. That sentence itself is like a thanksgiving. Krita. मीन्स किया गया कार्य, ज्ञ पता लगाना अथवा याद रखना। इन सिंपल हिंदी, अगर कोई हमें कुछ मदद करता है, उस मदद को हम याद रखते हैं, तो हम बन गए कृतज्ञ, कृतज्ञ। So the creator of the universe is also the lord of the earth. It's called Medinipatihi. Medinipati is the lord of the earth, or we can say he is a consort of Bhumata, Mother Earth. So Mahavishnu is considered as the lord of the earth. So describe Mahavishnu, the preserver of an inert matter like the earth, as Pati or husband or consort, is indeed a beautiful philosophic and poetic concept. It actually means one who looks after the wealth of the earth and all the beings living on the earth. That is Mahavishnu, is Lord of the earth, Medinipatihi, the Lord and consort of Bhumata or Bhudevi. How should we perceive him? We have to perceive him as Tripada, three-stepped, Virat Swarupa, Tripadaha, three-stepped. That means one who has taken three giant steps. The name denotes Mahavishnu's Vamana incarnation, in which he measured in just three steps the entire universe. This can also be a reference to Varaha manifestation, in which the Lord had three humps on his back. Trini. Now, so this can refer to Vamana Avtara, or it can refer to Varaha Avtara, Tripadaha. Now, one more possible meaning of this is it denotes Omkara, Pranava, Shabda Brahman, the most important first primordial sound. Trini Padani Vichakrame. Trini Padani means three words, three pada. Actually, it's one word, Om. It has combination of three sounds: Akara, Ukara, Makara. A, U together is O. Is half ma, not ma, sound, makara. So all together is om. When we say om, actually we are saying akara, ukara, makara, all these three are coming together. So one more meaning of tripada is refers to three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Okay. One more possible meaning is it refers to the three states of consciousness: waking, dream, and deep sleep. So actually, Tripada means the Jiva, the limited ego, one who identifies with the body, mind, intellect. That means he has to take three steps forward to cross over the delusion of these three worlds of waking, dream, and deep sleep. Only then the seeker, the devotee, the meditator can arrive at his own real nature, which is supreme consciousness, the Paramatma. So Mahavishnu is the lord of these three states or three steps. Three Dasha Adyakshaha. Three Dashadyakshaha. Lord of three states or three steps. Now, he is the Lord of three steps means these three states are waking, dream, and deep sleep. And we can say he is a witness of the three steps. It can also mean, as we have said in the previous, explaining the previous name in the same verse, it can also mean one who assumes in his play, the supreme being, in his Jagannataka, in his play, the three qualities of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. He assumes these qualities, but he himself is not affected by any of these three gunas. All these concepts are beautifully expressed in Ganapati Adharvana's Shirsham. It says, Tvam gunatrayatitaha, Tvam gunatraya atitaha, Tvam dehatrayatitaha, Tvam dehatraya atitaha, त्वम् अवस्थात्रयातीतः त्वम् अवस्थात्रय अतीतः त्वम् कालत्रयातीतः त्वम् कालत्रय अतीतः. Let us see what these three things are. When we say three gunas, we are referring to sattva, rajas, and tamas. When you say three states of being, it refers to avastha, awareness, dream, and deep sleep. When we refer to three bodies, we refer to the gross, that is the physical body, consisting of the Gnanendriyas, the Karmendriyas, the subtle body is mind and intellect, and the causal body is the one which has which has been the reason for us to take birth as a human being. That is our unfulfilled vasanas. Now, three states, three kala, three periods is past, present, and future. That means when we worship Ganapati or worship Paramatma, we are saying you are beyond the three gunas, sattva, raja, and tamas. You are beyond three states of being, awareness, dream, and deep sleep. You are beyond the three bodies, gross, subtle, and causal. You are beyond the three states of time, three kalatrayatitaha, past, present, and future. Now we come to the next name of Mahavishnu. It denotes Matsya manifestation called Mahasringaha. Mahasringaha means the great horn. In Mahasringa, the name Mahasringa indicates how Mahavishnu, in his fish incarnation, the first of the 10 Dashavataras, which normally are referred to, tied the ship, tied a huge ship to his great horn and helped the Saptarishis to cross over the waters of the deluge. In the waters of deluge, in the Pralayasam, when the whole world was getting immersed in water, they wanted to save the Saptarishis and sample of every plant, every fruit, every jiva, everything, at least one sample, like a DNA, it was taken on this boat, and this boat was tied to the horn, great horn of the Matsya, that is Mahavishnu, and he helped them to cross over. So he has helped preserve the life form in the earth, life in forms of plants, in forms of men, in forms of all types of animals, birds, everything was saved by the Matsya Avtara. Now, Mahashringa also indicates the Varaha manifestation, because in Varaha manifestation, as the Varaha, he had a great horn on his head. So, Mahavishnu, when you worship Mahavishnu in Varaha he is called Mahashringaha or Ekashringaha. So, in the Matsya manifestation, Mahavishnu freed the beings from the fear of death, fear of getting getting drowned in the waters of the deluge. So he has helped us to overcome the fear of death. That means, in a way, he has destroyed death itself. He is therefore worshipped as destroyer of death. Kritantaha, Krita Antaha, Kritanta Krit, Antaka or Anta is Yama. So he is the one who has finished the fear of death. Kritanta Krit, destroyer of death. Supreme is described as the destroyer of the creation. No, he is the creator. But what is destroying? He is destroying our illusions, our ignorance, our wrong perception of the material world. This is what is destroying. When the merits are more, the Lord provides a heaven for them to exist. When sins are more, the beings move into lower world, where because of sin, vasanas, these two also get exhausted. So he helps us to overcome what we call karma phala. Karma leads to karma phala, and the karma phala, once it is enjoyed or born either in heaven or in the lower worlds, it gets exhausted. So individual speaker, when he exhausts all the vasanas, he rises to the realm of the self and finally gets totally identified with the self. So Mahavishnu is that state, that divine state wherein all vasanas, that is krita, get destroyed. Antaha. All the vasanas get destroyed. Now you see the krita and krit, how different meanings are there. Here, krita are the vasanas. Because of vasanas only, we are taking birth again and again. So once vasanas are destroyed, there is no need for taking any birth. That means there will be no death. That means in a way, death is conquered. So the anta of the vasanas is called total liberation. The anta of the krita is called kritanta. It is total liberation. The giver of the liberation, the giver of this liberation is kritanta krit. So this term also indicates Lord Shiva, the destroyer in the form of Rudra. Again underlines the basic truth that Shiva and Vishnu are not different. They are only different forms of one single indivisible reality. Okay, with this we can conclude this verse also. Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.